Can you share a little bit about this real method that you're referring to? Because this gives some real tactical, actionable steps and things that people can really do to begin to flip that script.
Yeah. Real, obviously. It's an acronym. It stands for respect yourself, embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits. And I started with respect yourself. Obviously, I like the word real, but self-respect is foundational to anything we do. You know, when you think about it, how can we expect someone to respect us if we don't even respect ourselves, right? So a lot of times you'll hear people, I'm going to demand respect. Well, how about demonstrate it to yourself instead, right? When you show other people how you want to be treated, guess what? That's going to be how you're treated. So if you're treating yourself like crap, they're like, oh, we can dump it on her. She doesn't care. She's fine with it. No, that's not what we need to do. And, I remember as a child being taught to respect my elders, my peers, but never once do I remember being taught that the most important person to respect is myself. And that is so true, right? We have to respect ourselves first. It's like, I love saying this, but it's so ridiculous. Like putting on your oxygen mask, right? You've got to take care of yourself first so that you can take care of the other people.
Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Papineau Show, Living Aligned, Styled with Purpose. Today we have a very special guest who I have been wanting to have on since I started my podcast. And we finally were able to nail down a time. She's here today. Welcome, Simone Knego.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. Yay. I'm going to start by reading your bio and then we're going to dive in. And right before we got on, Simone had said to me, I'm an open book. There's nothing that you can't ask me. And I'm like, okay, great.
Hasn't backfired yet. So yeah.
I love it. Okay. So Simone Knego is an international speaker, award-winning author, and empowerment coach who helps women overcome self-doubt and lead purpose-driven lives. As the best-selling author of The Extraordinary Unordinary You and the co-host of the top 5% ranked podcast, Her Unshakable Confidence, she shares stories and strategies that inspire growth, resilience, and authenticity. Through her signature Real method, Simone offers a practical framework for building lasting confidence from the inside out. Featured on ABC, NBC, and CBC, and in publications including Entrepreneur and Yahoo News, she has also championed her kitchen table leadership philosophy, reminding audiences that real leadership is modeled through everyday choices. At home, the heart of a lively household with her husband of 32 years, 6 children, and 3 dogs. Her upcoming book, Real Confidence, A Simple Guide to Go From Unsure to Unshakable, debuts in February and provides women with the tools to cultivate authentic confidence in every area of their lives. Welcome, Simone. Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm excited to be here.
I know. So Simone and I, we have known each other now. I think the first time we met was 2019 or 2020 when I came to your home and styled you.
Yes. I can't believe it was that long ago, but yeah.
I know. And then time passes and we reconnect. I begin styling you again, a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Now. And then we became fast friends. In addition to that, we were both part of Brand Builders Group together. We have mutual friends. The thing that I just adore about Simone, love about Simone, is that she has the most beautiful reputation.
Oh, thank you.
And you're welcome. And Simone actually lives in where I live in Sarasota, Florida, and she is way more well-known than I am in this town. I mean, the things that you're involved in and all the people that I know, and every time your name comes up, they go, oh, Simone, I love her.
Wow, I'm feeling really good now.
Just priming you up for the questions
Yes.
here. Just
Thank
wait,
you.
just
Thank
wait.
you.
So Simone, I would love to start just by asking you what brought you, I know this is a loaded question,
Mm,
what brought you to where you are now? In terms of, you had some things that happened in your life that brought you to this place of like, really wanting to pour into women with, this inside out confidence. And these are some, and confidence has been in your life, had been something that you struggled with.
mm,
And you really shined a light on the fact that so many women struggle with confidence and that it's not something to have shame around and that it's okay to talk about.
mm.
And where did this all begin?
Yeah. So, how long do we have? So, I am someone that struggled with self-doubt for the majority of my life. When I was in high school, I had an abusive boyfriend, and I was with him for about 3 years. And when that relationship ended, was me leaving before he actually tried to kill me, then, that was kind of like the beginning of my real journey with self doubt, because everything he had said, I kind of took with me. I stuffed it down. I didn't talk about it. Obviously, my husband knew about it. My kids knew about it, but it wasn't something that I shared openly because there was a lot of shame behind it, right? Oh my gosh, like, how did I let this happen to me? Like it was my fault. And so fast forward into my 40s, like I did so many different things in my life, but I never could really figure out what I was doing. And I realized it was because I wasn't happy with myself. And I had to address issues that I struggled with before I could move forward. When I was 42, I was asked to do something completely out of my comfort zone, which was to climb a mountain. I'm not a mountain climber. Like Jessica said, we live in Florida at sea level. But I said yes. And I said yes because I knew I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And that's exactly what it did for me. I mean, I guess I could have ran a marathon or something, but I was asked to do this. And, I said yes. So I climbed Kilimanjaro in 2015. And that moment, that whole experience really helped me change the way I saw myself and really helped me realize what I was capable of. And I stopped worrying about, oh my gosh, what is someone else going to think? Or what are they all doing? Well, what does it matter? Like, they're not thinking about me. Why am I worried about that? Right. And so that's where my real method came out of, like understanding how I went from really struggling to saying, okay, I am good exactly where I am, and making that like a repeatable framework for other women, like practical tools for other women to be able to follow and understand, so they too can realize what they're capable of, because we don't give ourselves enough credit for the amazing things we're doing every day. We look at everybody else and say, wow, they've got it all together, but I don't. And that's so not true.
That's amazing. Like Kilimanjaro, I'm not someone that would probably take on something like that. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. But it definitely would have been out of my comfort zone as well. What is it what was there a point when you were, climbing Kilimanjaro that it kind of, brought you to this place of releasing all of these limiting beliefs about what other people thought of you, and what was it about doing that and getting outside of your comfort zone that really shifted your thinking?
Yeah, I think during the entire climb, I was really still just trying to manage that voice in my head. I call it the what if whisperer. What if you don't make it? What if everybody else is waiting on you? What if you're doing a bad job? Whatever that voice, that negative voice that likes to tell us what to do, like that was really the focus when I was going up. It was really at the summit where I was like, oh my gosh, I actually did this, right? And I can tell you, I had people ask me before I did this, do you really think you're going to make it to the top? Oh no, I think I'm going to make it halfway. That's why I'm doing it. Thank you so much for your support, right? And it's that, so often we rely on that external validation, but it's what's inside of us, how we feel about ourselves, that truly matters. And so that was one of the biggest things that I let go when I reached the summit and said, okay, now what? Like, not what's my next challenge, but let me go back and see, like, with my life, how can I do things differently so that I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. And it really is a different mindset for me because now it's about celebrating the accomplishments of other women instead of looking and saying, well, why isn't that me? And that's a huge mindset shift for me.
Mm, I love that. Something you just said really, I just need to highlight because it's recently, I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine about women even saying they support other women and actually not really walking the walk
Mm.
and really diving into what is that about? Like why, and I think one of the things is that I've kind of discovered is like a jealousy, right? Of like somebody else is doing something you want to do and how, framing it up in your mind of like wanting to derail their progress so you feel better about yourself, right? Instead of like hopping on board and getting in the circles with those people and being a part of this inclusivity. And that's another thing, Simone, that I really admire about you and that is why you have such a great reputation, is because of your inclusivity and bringing people together. I've just seen you bring so many women together. In fact, that's how we got reconnected again.
Yeah. I mean, it's about, come with me. It's not let me get there faster than you. And I would say that used to be my mentality of like, oh my gosh, why did she get that? Why didn't I get that? And now it's like, wow, that's really cool. And then I can ask the question, can you help me? Right? Tell me how you got there. Like, give me some insight. And when you approach it that way, instead of like, that constant behind your back, I can't believe she got that. It's a whole different ballgame because guess what? People really do want to help you, but you have to ask and you have to be real, right? You have to be yourself and not pretend to be someone else.
Yeah. Simone, what is authenticity? What does that actually mean to you? I feel like, that's what we're really talking about here is like being like our true authentic selves without like unapologetically, without worrying about what other people think. I think this word gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? The
Yeah.
authenticity piece. And what do you see out there with people talking about authenticity?
Yeah. So I do prefer to use the word real, not just because it's my method, but because I like the word. Like that means like you're really being yourself. I think authenticity is used a lot, but it's still an important word, right? Like being authentic is being who you are, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, and that is so important. I mean, I used to pretend, right? I used to go hide behind this facade and do things I didn't want to do because I thought that that's what I was supposed to do. I mean, even like I love when you dress me up and stuff, but and you're very good at it. She's very good at it. But there's days like today I'm wearing like a really comfy outfit by Splendid, right? And it's just like it's chilly out. Like this is what I want to wear because I'm sitting in a chair all day doing interviews and writing. So, but being able to do that, like I don't get dressed up to go to the grocery store. That's just not my personality. Plenty of people do, and that's their personality. That's great, right? But it's being able to be yourself and not worrying about what anybody else thinks. And because most of the time they're actually not thinking about you, right? I mean, worry about that so much. Like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? No, they got their own things going on, right? And so it's really interesting when you take a step back and say, oh, wait, yeah, they're really not thinking about me right now. And if they are, like, they're not the people. They're not your people.
Exactly. Exactly. So true. And I think, you talk about this inside, the inside out of like confidence, like being confident on the inside and reflecting that on the outside. And, with what it is that I do, it's more about how you feel showing up than it is how others are perceiving you and how you're showing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge. And that's what I love about what you do is that, so for a lot of women, they do struggle with the outside piece. And as soon as you give them the outside piece, they can work on the inside piece, right? They can make that connection. And I'm happy with my outside piece now. It took me years to get there, years and years. The way I would talk to myself in the mirror was ridiculous. And honestly, we need to really think about it because the way we talk to ourselves, we would never talk to our best friend that way. And we need to understand that we are our best friend. We are living with ourselves for the rest of our lives. So we need to treat ourselves like we would, our best friend.
Yeah, so true. And I think a lot of women aren't even aware. They've been doing it it's so automatic. They've been doing it for so long. And it's generational. I mean, for many of us, it's generational. I mean, I remember I saw my mother shaming herself and my grandmother shaming herself. And so that as a child, like that was normal, and then we kind of normalize it. And and I've been able to peer in and watch so many women in a mirror doing that exact same thing that you're talking about. And they don't even realize they're doing it.
Yeah, it's huge. And I didn't realize I was doing it for years. I had a moment when so I have a podcast with my daughter, Olivia. She's 23. And when she was 15, I was getting ready for an event, totally bashing myself, looking in the mirror. I can't believe you gained weight again. Like, you shouldn't even go. Like, nobody's going to want to hang out with you, whatever I was saying.
Yeah.
And she walked in and she said, okay, you need to stop. First of all, you're beautiful. Second of all, you're giving me a complex. How can you expect me to love my body when you don't even like your own? And that was such a wake-up call for me because first of all, yes, it was my routine. Like, that's just how I talk to myself, which is ridiculous when I look back now.
Yeah.
But your thoughts become your reality. Your words become your reality. So when you're constantly talking negatively to yourself, what do you believe? You believe the negative stuff, but you can flip the switch. I mean, you can flip the script. You can totally change it up. And guess what? You'll believe that too. It takes practice, but you'll believe that too.
Can you share a little bit about this real method that you're referring to? Because this gives some real tactical, actionable steps and things that people can really do to begin to flip that script.
Yeah.
Right.
So REAL, obviously, it's an acronym. It stands for respect yourself, embrace your failures, ask yourself what you want, and live without limits. And I started with respect yourself. Obviously, I like the word real, but self-respect is foundational to anything we do. When you think about it, how can we expect someone to respect us if we don't even respect ourselves, right? So a lot of times you'll hear people, I'm going to demand respect. Well, how about demonstrate it to yourself instead, right? When you show other people how you want to be treated, guess what? That's going to be how you're treated. So if you're treating yourself like crap, they're like, oh, we can dump it on her. She doesn't care. She's fine with it. No, that's not what we need to do. And, I remember as a child being taught to respect my elders, my peers, but never once do I remember being taught that the most important person to respect is myself. And that is so true, right? We have to respect ourselves first. It's like, I love saying this, but it's so ridiculous. Like putting on your oxygen mask, right? You got to take care of yourself first so that you can take care of the other people.
So true. And I think we oftentimes forget that. Again, like that, so automatic for, just worrying about everybody else but ourselves as moms, as women. And so could you share a little bit about, I wanted to ask you about the kitchen table. So the kitchen table leadership.
Yeah.
The signature concept that you have.
Yeah. So, we've been sold this very narrow view of what leadership is. It's the title, it's the boardroom, it's the corner office. And okay, that's part of leadership. But the leadership decisions are decisions that you make every single day. Leadership is what happens behind the scenes in the messy moments, the times that people don't even see what's happening, right? And so many of those decisions happen around the kitchen table. I mean, if you think about your life and think about some of the biggest decisions you've ever made, they happen around the kitchen table. I mean, for us, our 3 adoptions, like the decisions to adopt our youngest 3 children. Those happened around the kitchen table, and they were life-changing decisions. So, and those are leadership decisions, but nobody's ever called it that. So therefore, we're like, oh, that's not leadership. Oh, yes, it is. It is leadership. And we have to start seeing it differently, because when we truly believe that we are a leader, and leader is influence in your own space, right? When you're a leader, you show up differently, right? You work differently. You're willing to take more responsibility. You don't wait for the boss to say, oh, you're doing a good job, because you already know you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I love that. I love that concept, and it's so true. I would say my decisions aren't at the kitchen table, but it's the conversations that my husband and I have in bed. We're laying in bed, and he's like, okay, Jessica, no more questions after 9 p.m.
Well, if I would say bedroom leadership, I think that would sound a little bit different. So, we'll keep it to the kitchen table.
You talk about the kitchen table to the boardroom.
Yes.
And I'm like, kitchen table to the bedroom.
I think that's for a different show.
I think so. So I want to talk you have a new book coming out, which is super, super exciting. This has been a labor of love. It's been, such an evolution. I think even, since your last book, of, all this life experience since then. When did your first book come out?
October of 2020. So it's been over 5 years, which is crazy. Again, it's like crazy. Did I get 5 years older? Yeah, I did, unfortunately.
But so much growth in the last 5 years. And your book, which I had the opportunity already to get a little behind the scenes on your book, which is coming out this month. No, next month.
February 17th. Which is very exciting. I got the copies in the mail today. So I'm so excited. I got to post it. I did a little unboxing video because I was like, oh my gosh, they're here. I was talking to my publisher yesterday, and she said, I think they're going to be there like next week or so. And then when I was like, oh, they're actually here today.
Does your wardrobe reflect the powerful, influential woman you truly are? If there's even a hint of hesitation, it's time to change that. I've created a free styling call for women just like you. Women who are ready to align how they show up with the success they've already built. This isn't about trends, it's about strategy. We'll dive into your goals, your presence, and your style to uncover what's working, what's not, and how to create a look that positions you for your next level life. Book your free styling call today at csjstyling.com. Let's make sure your presence is unforgettable. That's so exciting, and good for you for doing your social media.
Yeah, it's like a whole job. It's like I need 17 hats now, I was like, oh, no.
Oh, gosh, I know. And talk about, I know we're going to talk about your book here, but talk about confidence in social media. I mean, it's putting yourself out there in that way. I talk to so many women that are entrepreneurs that, utilize that platform, and how terrified they are of going on there and people looking at them. And these are women that have podcasts, they are keynote speakers, and that are book writers, just like you.
Interesting. Yeah. When I first started doing videos and stuff for social media, I was like, oh, I don't know. And now I'm like, I don't care. Like, I show up as I am. Half the time I'm in my PJs, I'm like, oh, wait, I got to do a video. It's 8:00 at night. And, so it is what it is. And I think that's an important piece of it, though. Like, nobody needs to see another person who is going to fix every single thing about the video until it's perfect, right? People want to see real life, and that's what I like. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so it takes, I don't really edit. I'm like, okay, just put it out there. I just edit the beginning where I'm like, did I push the right button? But I did a video this week. So I do a video every Monday, Monday morning mindset. And this week I did a video about doing dry January. why did I do dry January? Because it was a bet. Okay, whatever. It should have been dry April because I would have been better prepared for that. But we're 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. Anyway, so I went out last week with some girlfriends to a champagne bar. And of course, I'm not drinking. So I said, I'll be the designated driver. And I had sparkling water, and they had this, those little rides that they have. Sometimes you put like a quarter in and like they move back and forth. Okay.
Yes.
So they had an elephant, and the guy was like, "Oh, come sit." I'm like, "The sober one is going to go sit. This will be great." It was hilarious. So like I took that video and I taught out like dry January, and and I was like, this is what happened when you're the one person not drinking the champagne bar. You have to ride the elephants.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Well, so you just said something about perfectionism. So I have to say I am a perfectionist. It's something I've been working on for many years. I don't know. I don't know that I'm in recovery. I know a lot of people when they say, yeah, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I don't even know if I'm quite at that point yet. And when I really realized this, it like really landed with me was reading your newest book.
Mm.
And it really, it just made, you hear the same thing so many times and then it just finally lands with you. And, that was that's a really big thing for me. And it was something from your book that I really gained. And I want to actually read you because I have my testimonial that I wrote for your book and I have two others.
Yeah, absolutely.
May I read them?
Yeah.
Because I want our listeners to just get a feel for what they might feel when they read your book. Okay, so mine is Simone's book shows women that confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from presence. And I'll tell you, this is something I know, but it just really landed with me when I read your book. The messages that she shares are both transformational and deeply empowering. And that's what I walked away feeling after reading. Okay, so I have another one here. This book made me stop and really think about how I speak to myself. It gave me practical tools to shift my confidence in a way that feels doable. This one, I really love this one because I think, there's so many amazing books out there, Simone, and I read a ton of books. But I will say, we have to discern, like, what book am I going to pick up, right? That's going to give me some real actionable steps, some things that I can really apply in my life. And I think there are so many women that really are, in this place of this negative self-talk and don't even realize it. And so, in reading your book and really getting that awareness, but then some really tactical things that you can implement in your everyday life.
I mean, that was the goal of it, is really to have it be very practical. Yes, I give science and that kind of stuff in it, but I want you to have tools that you take away. And when we're done with this, I'll give you one that you can use tonight.
Oh, I love it. Okay, well, everyone, you have to wait till the end of the episode. You get to hear what it is. Yes. Okay, I have one more that I want to read. Simone's stories are so relatable. I felt like she was sitting across from me at my own kitchen table, reminding me that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that one. And that one too. So I feel that way when I see you on social media.
Thank you.
As well. And that realness, it comes through. People can feel the difference between just like speaking the thing and actually being and living in a way that truly is real and authentic. And that definitely comes through just even in your stories when you share the stories in your book.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So is there anything else that you feel we haven't covered that you really want to share today with the listeners?
Let me talk a little bit about just my life in general. So
Yeah.
six kids, and people will ask me all the time, well, you must really have it together. No, I don't. Like, let's be real for a second. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, I can't complain. I only have two kids. You have six. When you're struggling with something, you're struggling. You don't have to validate it. Just because I have six children doesn't make the things that you struggle with, any less valid. I mean, it's real struggles and it's real life. And, from the outside, people are like, oh, yeah, she's so organized. No, I'm not. Ask my husband. He's like, how can you cook a whole dinner and like not put anything in the dishwasher while you're doing it? Like, I'll leave this mound of dishes. And I'm like, well, because I know you'll do it. But, I think a lot of times we look at other people's lives and think, oh gosh, I wish my life were like that. No, you don't. Like you really have to take a step back and say, that gratitude for where you are right now. And, trust me, there's plenty of times that we are really struggling where they're not grateful moments, right? How do we move forward from this? But the biggest thing is not looking at anybody else and wishing you had their life, because it's never going to happen. And focus on yourself, focus on what you can create, what you can do, and what you can do for yourself, because that's where it all starts.
Yeah. And really taking that pause, Simone, and thinking about, what, instead of looking outside at what is somebody else doing, is that what I want to do? Is that what I should be doing? Really going within and saying, what do I desire? Having that confidence to say, I deserve what I really want. And what is that thing?
Yeah. That's the third part of the real method, is ask yourself what you want, and that's honestly one of the hardest things for women to do, because we are such givers that it's like, oh, wait, what do I want? Nobody's ever asked me that before. Okay, well, I'm asking you. Take everything away. Like, if you could get rid of everything else, what would you want? What would you want to do? Where would you want to be? Like, all these different things. And oh my gosh, I've never thought about that. Okay, well, let's start thinking about it.
It's interesting because the question that you just said right there, what do you really want? What do you really desire? That is the first question that I ask every client that I begin working with. And it's so interesting. You're so right about so many women don't really think about this. They give me a really rehearsed answer to begin with.
Interesting.
And it just doesn't even it doesn't sound real. It sounds more like they thought about what they should want to be doing. And so I do this purposefully. And it's kind of market research too, to like really discover, like get in the minds of, high performing women that on the outside look like they have it all together. Right. And what do you really want to do? And I get this rehearsed answer. And then I say exactly what you just said, like pause for a minute. And then they're looking at me and they're getting uncomfortable because there's like this awkward silence. I'm not saying anything. And then I'll say exactly what you just said. If you take all the things out of it, like the taking care of other people, you need to make a certain amount of money, you care about what other people think. And just like, if you were to creatively think exactly what you want, what would it be? And it's so interesting how some women, they'll first look at me and they'll say, nobody's ever asked me that.
Yeah.
Or there's another awkward silence and their lip starts to quiver and they start to cry.
Yeah. Because we are not living the lives we all want to be living at times, right? And so it's understanding that we have a choice. We have so many choices in our life every single day, and we should choose to be happy, right? We should choose to take care of ourselves. We should choose to love the woman in the mirror, I mean, inside and out.
Yes. And like you said, Simone, it is a choice. And what do you say for that woman who she's listening to this podcast and she's saying to herself, everything that has been said on this podcast, from the not feeling confident, or I'm the woman that I look in the mirror and I am shaming myself. I've never really, put that much thought into it. And I don't know if I'm really living the life that I truly want to even to live, but where do I start?
Yeah.
Where do I begin?
I think you start with asking yourself the question first, what am I doing for myself? Am I respecting myself, right? I mean, that's question number one. Am I just putting myself out there and not taking care of myself at all? Am I so worried about everybody else that I'm not doing anything for myself? I mean, that's where you start, because you have to start taking care of yourself no matter what that means, right? I mean, I've had people say, well, I don't have time for self-care. I'm like, okay, 15 minutes a day. You don't have time for 15 minutes a day. No, I really don't. Like, my life is so busy. Okay, tell me your screen time. How long did you, scroll on your phone today? Oh, well. I was like, okay, instead of scrolling on your phone, do intentional time for yourself, something that you really love to do, whether it's reading a book, taking a walk, taking a swim, whatever you need, for sitting on the couch and drinking a glass of wine. Not me right now because dry January, but something like that where your focus is just on you and not what everybody else is doing. And trust me, you have time for it, right? You have to make time for it like you make time for everybody else.
I love that. And the one thing I incorporated this year, because I tell all my clients, like, you have to take care of yourself, and all, we have to sometimes check in with ourselves. And I would go days. This is terrible. I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud, where I wouldn't leave my house because I was so busy. And number one, I stopped using that word.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. That is not a good word, because, we have a choice to be busy.
Yeah.
And we can have a full plate, but we can also leave room on the plate for the taking care of. And, sometimes it's as simple as I incorporated a walk into my day. Literally, that's 30 minutes. I have not lost any time on doing the work that I need to get done. In fact, I'm more productive.
Yeah, I bet you are, because again, taking that break. I mean, there's so much research on it. When you remove yourself from the stress of everything you're doing every second of the day and really get to kind of reset, then yeah, you come back and you're like, ooh, same thing with parenting. Like my kids, I'd be like, okay, I'm walking away for a little bit. I am not mom right now. Do not call me mom. It's the day is over, and but I needed that break so that I could. It makes you a better human when you take time for yourself. And we have to remind ourselves of that, because we're like, oh no, I can just do it all. No, you can't. Again, buy back your time, right? I mean, let other people help you, right? I mean, it's so important that we really think about that on a regular basis.
Yeah, putting on that oxygen mask. One thing I will say that I have noticed, and I don't know if you feel this way, Simone, because also asking for help is self-care, right? It is confidence, in yourself. It is respecting yourself. But one thing that I've noticed, because I would always have fears around asking for help, is that we are being a leader when we ask for help. And I never thought of it this way until I started to ask for support in certain areas. And I found that it has allowed other women that are in my circle to feel comfortable to ask for help in return.
It's the same thing like talking about what you struggle with, right? Because as soon as you're willing to open up, guess what? That opens the door for other women to do the same. And I found that so many times, whether I'm doing a speech or doing coaching, when I say, okay, let me tell you about my situation. And they're like, what? You? I'm like, yeah. Believe it or not. Yes. I mean, again, we're all human. We all struggle. So, same thing like with talking about what you struggle with and asking for help, because asking for help is not a weakness. It's part of being human, and it does show incredible leadership, because you're willing to put yourself out there and say, you know what, I could use help with this, and guess what, people want to help.
They do in fact, it makes them feel good.
Yeah I mean, I'm a giver. You ask me, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll be there, right? I mean,
I know yeah. So can you tell us, I know you were going to leave us with something here, something that we can each do tonight. That is, yeah.
So this is my little mindset hack. And, when we were talking about, automatically just saying negative things to ourselves, this is what I've used for so many situations where I'm second guessing and doubting. When the what if whisperer comes in, I'm like, okay, what do I do? It's a very creative title, very hard to remember. It's called Control Alt Delete. So, oh, so back in the day, it was how you would reset a frozen computer. Now it brings up Task Manager. I don't know what Task Manager means, but I guess it manages your tasks. I don't really know. I should probably research it since I talk about it all the time. But I like it better not knowing because there's so many things I don't know. And so control stands for awareness, right? These thoughts that come into your head, are they real? Are they helpful? Is it a story that you're telling yourself, a negative story that you're telling yourself? Most likely it is, but it's becoming aware of those thoughts that come into your head first to say, wait, oh my gosh, why am I thinking that, right? The second part is alt, which is alternative. Tell yourself a better story. Instead of telling yourself you can't do something, yes, you can. Watch me. Yeah, yes, I can. Watch me, right? And instead of saying, oh, what if I fail? How about when I succeed, right? And our thoughts become our reality. The way we talk to ourselves becomes our reality. And it's so important that we change the way we talk to ourselves, because if you can believe all the negative things you say to yourself all day long, you can believe the positive things. Building confidence it's a skill. Confidence is a skill. It is not something she has and you don't. It's something that you work on every day. Like if you're going to the gym, you're not going to be fit in one day, right? You're not going to take one Spanish lesson and be fluent in Spanish. It just doesn't work that way. It's the same with your mindset. And the last part is delete. Delete the habits and beliefs that don't serve you. Delete the comparison game. Delete the belief that you're not enough. And my favorite is delete the idea that you need to wait until you feel ready. Okay. Waiting until you feel ready is like waiting for IKEA instructions to actually make sense. It is not going to happen, right? So do it scared, do it now, do it because you really want to do it. And even if you don't know how it's going to turn out, do it anyways.
Oh, that's good. I have a WAIT acronym. Why am I thinking?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Or why am I thinking? Because we get stuck in the thinking loop.
Yeah. Well, we overthink everything. Where we're like, if you just did it, you would find out the answer quick enough, and then you'd be like, well, that didn't work. How do I do it different next time? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I failed at it, I'm never going to try again. It's a learning process, right? That's all that failure is because the most successful people, however you define success, have failed many, many times because they're willing to put themselves out there. And for me, the most uncomfortable thing is to stay comfortable, right? To like not try new things, to just sit there on the couch.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, put yourself out there. Try something new.
I love it. Well, thank you, Simone, so much for coming on. And for those of you that are listening, February 17th, Real Confidence, a Simple Guide to Go from Unsure to Unshakable is coming out. So be sure. There'll be lots of updates, I'm sure, Simone, on your social media. I know that you do you have a newsletter as well that goes out. And did you have something you wanted to give today as well?
Yeah, I do. Let me see if I can even find the link.
It's your audio.
I have. Yeah. You have it for me.
I have it for you.
Good. Thank you.
It's going to be in the show notes. So you're giving away
it's the audiobook from my first book. That way you get to hear my voice. I have not recorded the audiobook for my second book. That's going to happen next month when I get my act together from everything else. I got to get through the law. The audiobook will be released the following month. So, but the audiobook for my first book, and you'll learn all about my life because that book is it's called The Extraordinary Unordinary You. It's all about realizing what you're capable of and recognizing that the little things you do every day matter. And like I said, it's my voice, so you get to hear me for like 6 hours.
I love it. I'm so excited for everyone to have a listen. And now, so January is your time to listen to the first book, so that when you get into the second book, you are all prepared to know everything about Simone and all her stories.
Yeah,
her climb to Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, it's funny because I'll meet people and they're like, oh, how's Jacob? Because I talk about all my kids in the book. So
Yeah.
everybody knows me. And I'm like, who are you? Like, introduce yourself so I know who you are too.
Well, thank you so, so much, Simone, for coming in today and for sharing all of your wisdom with our listeners. And have a beautiful rest of your day. And I can't wait for us to reconnect. I know we'll be doing that sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.